kind of conflict are the things that happen that begin to push and fight for a more democratic electorate, a more democratic and a more progressive politics that were going on locally. This stuff was happening throughout the country. In 1972, there was what was known as the National Black Political Convention that took place in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana was one of the first cities on the Eastern Seaboard that eventually elected an African-American mayor. So it was good to have it there, you know. So they had the convention in, and the idea was to elect a national figure to run for national office, a black president, if you will, but also more importantly, a national black political agenda that could be administered around the country, things that we could agree upon. But of course, that's a whole different story in terms of that fight internally, what we had to make it not successful. But as a result of those kind of struggles, we got mayors like Ken Gibson, Newark, New Jersey. You got Hatcher, you know. You had Harold Washington in Chicago. You had people like that all over the country where they began to elect African American leadership in these places. In Newark, we had a rebellion first in 1967, and in most of these cities, they also had rebellions. But and I'm gonna close on this. But right after those people became elected, there was a serious divestment or disinvestment from these urban centers. And that is very important. Serious disinvestment. People left. So they left these cities out of fear that, you know, people was going to do to them what they did to them. Fear that, you know, they were burning down stuff. I don't want my stuff burned down. You know, all these kinds of things. So people left. They left the school system. You know, Weequahic High School used to be like the #1 school in the nation. Right. Newark Public Schools had some of the best schools in the country. Central High School ranked top 10 in the country. Sports, as well as academics. So it was a serious disinvestment. That means people left. They left the school, and when they left the school, they took the resources with them. They left the stores, and they left the stores abandoned. When they left, they took the money. They took money. They took resources. They took property. They took things. It started like in a different country. Say there's a coup or a revolution, right? And a person, there's one group that's in power, and before they get to leave, like Batista did in Cuba. So Castro is coming. So before they take power, they loot the banks, right? They take all their money and all their resources out the banks, and they leave. They take everything that they get their hands on, and they go. They take the resources, they take the information, they take everything, and then they leave you what's left. And so now you're trying to run a city with what's left over, #1, and things that are left behind, and then you know, you take away a population of people that might have been a little bit more educated in terms of the schoolings that they went to, the different things that they were involved in, the institutions, and they leave. And so now you say, it's yours. Sort of like what they gave Obama, right? It's yours, do something with it. So now you have these things in these inner cities that are crumbling. They're crumbling. And what all the progressive things that were pushed, that set up the road for people to leave, all the New Deal plans, FDR, all that New Deal stuff, Social Security, you know, GI Bill, all those things that were developed that allow people to develop whole communities. Some of the suburbs that exist today were created out of the flight of people who left urban centers. There's some cities that did not exist prior to 1967 that exist now as a result of people moving to a place and taking their resources with them and building another place so they can have a separation from the people that were in these inner cities, creating the kind of dichotomy and relationship that we have now. You know, and the federal programs that existed that allowed people the opportunities to go do these things were wonderful. Access to higher education, access to mortgages, access to loans, access to insurance, access to housing. Everybody else either were red lines or you can't go there. All of those things, and I just want you to put that in your head. I just want you to understand and what that's about. And I'm telling you this because this is the reason why today we need a conference. We need a conference just like the Gary Convention, but more expansive. We need a conference. We need people like the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party that are going to go. We need students like SNCC today. We need students like the students of SNCC, like the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. The people who practice beating themselves. You know, they practice beating on themselves at night. They beat themselves up because they knew when they would go to the sit-in in the South, they were going to get beat up. Right? So we need students like the students of February 1st, 1960, the students who sat in the Woolworth lunch counter down in North Carolina, from North Carolina A&T, who did that for 30 days until other people began to get involved. Those are the kind of students we need. We need the students that are going to be involved, that are going to research, that are going to affect the change that's happening in this country. And people want to make you believe that change was created and developed by these older folks that are out here doing these things, when really the physical arm of the movement have always been young people, have always been students. They have the time, they have the energy, right? And they have the information. You here to study, to research. The whole attack on the Brown versus Board of Education was led by students from Howard University. So students are the fuel to any change or any movement. That's why the attack on the university is key. It's key to attack the university. It's important to raise tuition.